must-start players in the Fantasy Football League. And week 4, Tori, give me some players that you must start this week.
So, and we kind of talked about this a little bit pre-show here. There's a team that we're going to have to kind of start going, these guys might be for real. And no, it's not the Miami Dolphins. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is starting to become the quarterback that everybody thought he was going to be. He now is taking that step forward. Granted, they played against a very banged up Chargers team, but they still dropped 38 on that team. That's still a very good Chargers defense that did lose Bosa. However, still, they dropped 38. This is not your typical Jacksonville Jaguars team. This is a team that is now all of a sudden starting to make us go, we're going to have to take these guys seriously. Trevor Lawrence, slowly and quietly, is probably available in a lot of leagues because who in the right mind was like, yeah, Jacksonville's going to be an offensive juggernaut? Nobody.
Yeah.
They're turning into that, though. And Trevor Lawrence is slowly becoming a quarterback that if he's not picked up, you might want to pick him up and stash him. Keep an eye on him. Maybe at this point, maybe he's a bye week option, depending on what your quarterback situation looks like. But he's starting to become like somebody that like, I might pick him up and put him into the game because he's putting up points and he's putting up a lot. And staying in that same theme, I was a huge fan of Travis Etienne this year. Like, I'm like, Etienne's going to come in and bust out. Guess what? It has become Mr. Robinson's neighborhood in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
One of my gems I got in the late rounds too, James Robinson for the Jacksonville Jaguars right now is showing out, especially in the PPR league. He is showing that he's not giving up that lead in the backfield. He may not be listed as the starter, but he is sure getting the catches and the carries and producing at a bigger rate now than Travis Etienne. He is right now, if you're not starting him, you need to be starting him. And again, I talked to Buck right before this. I made a trade right before we went on the air in my one league, and I actually told the guy, I said, you can have any of my running backs. So in that league, we can't trade first round picks. I said, except for Najee Harris. And I was just like, don't pick James Robinson. Don't pick James Robinson. Don't pick James Robinson. And he's like, I'll do Cordero Patterson for Amari Cooper. I'm like, deal. Done. I will do that all day long. He did try to get me to take a bite on Deontay Johnson. I'm like, nope. Bigger upside on Amari Cooper just because he's doing things with a crappy quarterback that once Deshaun gets done with his suspension will probably do even better, which just in time for the playoffs could be a steal for me on that one. Again, I take a hit losing Cordero Patterson just because of all the receptions and stuff he gets out of the backfield. He is a solid back. But again, I always look towards the future. I've had Brian Robinson stashed on my bench. Again, I talked about it last week. I'm going to talk about it again this week. If you have not, and he is available, he comes back off of IR next week. If you watch the pregame drills and everything else that he was doing already last week, he's ready to go. He will probably step in for the Redskins and be an immediate impact player for them.
Yeah, as a Gibson fantasy owner, I hope that is not the case. But you are telling me that I need to pick up Trevor Lawrence right now, right? If he is available in our league, which he is, pick him up, right?
He absolutely. He again, week in and week out, all of a sudden he's starting to show who he is. I follow a couple of different things, but one of them is NFL memes, and it's funny, but it's semi-accurate. Was there was a meme that said Trevor Lawrence if he never had Urban Meyer as his coach his first year, and it actually had a picture of Peyton Manning underneath it.
Right.
So, which side note, I don't know if I posted it or not. With his third victory, Doug Peterson is now the 5th winningest coach in the Jacksonville Jaguars history, tied with Urban Meyer.